Hi there, I'm Pranob Bhattacharya, Global Development Project Leader and Executive Director here at Astellas.
Hi, nice to meet you. So I hear you're going to be walking us through some of the more scientific details related to gastric cancer today.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to it.
So Pranob, what are some of the things you do at Astellas specific to gastric cancer?
So here at Astellas, I'm assigned as the project lead for one of the gastric cancer programs, and I'm privileged to work with a world-class group of physicians, translational scientists, clinical pharmacologists, and many other team members who are all driven to further gastric cancer research in helping find innovative options for our patients.
Before we dive into the research, can you first share more about the disease in general? How prevalent is it?
Sure. In the US, it's number 15 on the list of common cancers.
What about globally?
So gastric cancer is more commonly diagnosed in other regions of the world, particularly in East Asia and Eastern Europe. In fact, it's the 5th most diagnosed cancer worldwide and the 4th leading cause of cancer-related death globally. With that said, outcomes have historically been poor around the globe, regardless of location. So it's important that research continues to ensure patients are able to get the care they need.
Interesting. Why the discrepancy between the US and other areas around the world?
While reasons aren't entirely clear, a few factors have contributed to its decline in the US. These include improvements in preservation and storage of food and the decline in infections with certain bacterium such as Helicobacter pylori or H. pylori, as you may know it.
Can you tell me more about these outcomes?
Unfortunately, the 5-year relative survival rate for gastric cancer in the US is fairly low, only around 32%. Specifically, when a patient is diagnosed with gastric cancer that has metastasized and spread throughout their body, the 5-year relative survival rate is approximately 6%.
Wow, that is pretty jarring. Why is it caught so late?
That is because gastric cancer often presents symptoms that are typical of other stomach ailments. For example, someone may have reflux, abdominal pain, or nausea and attribute these symptoms to something else. Early stomach cancer typically doesn't present symptoms at all. So by the time these symptoms are bad enough and someone goes to the doctor, it's usually the cancer has advanced.
And what's being done for these patients to help improve these numbers?
The healthcare industry, us included, is looking for more targeted ways to tackle these tough cancers. At Astellas, we're specifically looking at the way biomarkers are expressed in certain cancers. From there, we can find a more targeted way to treat the cancer versus using a one-size-fits-all approach.
I keep hearing about biomarkers. Can you explain what these are and why they're important?
Absolutely. The identification of biomarkers is important to making medicine personalized. They're molecules that can help improve diagnosis, prognosis, prediction of recurrence, and treatment responses. It is important to note, though, that a presence of biomarker isn't a guarantee for a targeted treatment. Even if someone identifies a biomarker in testing, there may not be an effective, safe option available yet.
What are some of the biomarkers that someone might be tested for?
Established biomarkers such as HER2, MSI, MMR, PD-L1 can all be used to inform clinical decisions. Other emerging biomarkers such as Claudin 18.2 or FGFR2 may help identify previously undefined groups of cancer patients.
Are there some specific biomarkers that Astellas is interested in?
Yes, there are some emerging biomarkers that are prevalent among metastatic gastric cancer patients. We've been looking at Claudin 18.2 as a potential target, since the expression of this protein specifically has been seen to be high among gastric cancer patients.
What exactly is Claudin 18.2?
Claudins are a family of transmembrane proteins that are involved in controlling the flow of molecules between cells. Claudins are present throughout the body, but there are 2 specific isoforms of Claudin 18 that are localized to certain tissue types. The one we're looking at is Claudin 18.2. It is the dominant isoform found in normal, healthy gastric epithelial cells.
How common is this gene in gastric cancer?
So roughly 1/3 of gastric cancers express high levels of Claudin 18.2, which makes it an excellent target, and that is why we're researching it.
And is it in any other cancers?
It is. Claudin 18.2 has been seen to be overexpressed in pancreatic, esophageal, ovarian, and lung cancers. This tells us that further understanding and targeting this gene could be useful not just in gastric cancer, but also beyond.
So with all this in mind, tell us what's next.
So we're on a mission to use this knowledge to create a biomarker-driven therapy to advance care in a personalized manner for our patients. We currently have a few trials ongoing, and we're looking for ways to continue to advance our science. We have started to see changes happening within the treatment landscape already.
Is there anything you're personally most excited about as you research this disease?
Indeed. I'm personally invested and I'm privileged to be a part of this journey. I'm looking forward to continuing and furthering gastric cancer research and being able to find an innovative treatment option for our patients.